Adrian Calloway owned 17 restaurants across 3 states. At 38, he had worked his way up from washing dishes as a teenager to building a culinary empire. But success had made him cautious, guarded. His last relationship had ended when he discovered the woman loved his wallet more than him. So when his business partner insisted on setting him up with her cousin, Adrian almost said no. But something in her persistence wore him down. Just one coffee, she had promised. Neutral ground, low pressure. He chose the Morning Light, a small cafe he had purchased 6 months ago. It was struggling when he bought it, but he saw potential. He kept the original staff, invested in better equipment, and stayed behind the scenes. Most employees had no idea who really owned the place. Adrian arrived early, wearing dark jeans and a white button-down, nothing flashy. He wanted to be seen for who he was, not what he had. 15 minutes later, she walked in. Isabel Hayes moved through the cafe with practiced efficiency, her blonde hair pulled back in a neat ponytail. She wore the standard uniform, cream blouse and brown skirt. She was the morning shift manager, though her name tag simply said, Waitress. She balanced a tray of coffee cups, weaving between tables with the grace of someone who had done this 1,000 times. Adrian watched her smile at an elderly couple, refill a businessman's cup without being asked, and gently redirect a toddler who had wandered from his mother. Then their eyes met across the room. Something flickered in her expression. Recognition, maybe, though they had never met. She looked away quickly, focusing on her work. Adrian checked his phone. His date was now 20 minutes late. He texted his business partner. She replied immediately, "Oh no, Sarah got called into an emergency at the hospital. She's a surgeon. I'm so sorry. She sends her apologies." Adrian sighed. He should have known better than to hope. Isabel appeared at his table. "Order pad ready. Good morning. Can I get you something while you wait?" "Coffee, please," Adrian said. "And maybe you can tell me if the blueberry scones are any good. I've heard mixed reviews." Isabel's professional smile faltered slightly. "Between you and me, they're dry. The lemon poppy seed muffins are better, fresh this morning. Then I'll trust your judgment," he said. As she turned to leave, her foot caught on a chair leg someone had pushed out. The tray tilted. Adrian watched in slow motion as coffee arced through the air. It splashed across his white shirt, hot and dark. He gasped, jumping up. Oh no, I'm so sorry." Isabel grabbed napkins, dabbing frantically at his chest. Her hands shook. "I'm so clumsy, I wasn't watching where I was going." "It's okay," Adrian said, though the coffee was definitely hot. "Accidents happen." "No, it's not okay," Isabel insisted, her voice tight with panic. "This shirt is expensive, I can tell. I'll pay for the cleaning. I'll pay to replace it if the stain doesn't come out." Adrian caught her wrist gently, stopping her frantic dabbing. "Isabel, look at me." She met his eyes and he saw real fear there. "This wasn't just about the spilled coffee. It's truly fine," he said softly. "Shirts can be washed, no harm done." The manager rushed over, a thin man with nervous energy. "What happened here?" "Isabel, this is the 3rd incident this month." "It was an accident, Tom," Adrian said firmly. "The chair was in the way. Anyone could have tripped." Tom's jaw tightened. "Sir, I apologize for our staff's carelessness. Your meal will be complimentary, of course." "That's not necessary," Adrian began. "I insist," Tom said. He turned to Isabel, lowering his voice, but not enough. "My office. After your shift." Isabel's face went pale. She nodded, not meeting anyone's eyes. The rest of Adrian's coffee was delivered by another server. He ate his muffin alone, watching Isabel work. She moved more carefully now, double-checking every step. He noticed how she flinched when Tom walked by. After paying his bill, Adrian didn't leave. Instead, he went to find Tom in his office. "Can I help you, sir?" Tom asked, standing quickly. "I wanted to make sure you understand that today's incident was not Isabel's fault," Adrian said. "The furniture layout is awkward in that section. I've noticed it's a tight space." Tom's expression shifted to something uncomfortable. "That's kind of you to say, but Isabel has been having performance issues. This just confirms that she might not be the right fit for our establishment." "Performance issues?" Adrian kept his voice neutral. "Like what?" "She's too slow, too friendly with customers, wastes time chatting, and now this clumsiness." Tom shrugged. We need people who can move fast and stay focused. Adrian wanted to tell Tom exactly who he was and exactly how wrong he was, but he held back. Instead, he thanked Tom for his time and left. But he didn't go far. Adrian spent the next week coming to the morning light every morning. He sat at different tables, watched different shifts. He saw what Tom couldn't or wouldn't see. Isabel remembered every regular's name and order. The elderly couple from that first day. She knew they had just lost their son and always asked about their grandchildren. The businessman? She knew he was studying for his real estate license and quietly encouraged him. The toddler's mother was a single mom working 2 jobs, and Isabel often slipped extra pastries into her bag. Yes, Isabel took time with people, but her tables were happier. They tipped better. They came back. On Friday morning, Adrian waited until Isabel's break. She sat in the corner with a cup of tea, rubbing her temples. He approached carefully. "Is this seat taken?" She looked up, surprised. "You're the coffee stain guy." He laughed. "That's me, Adrian." "Isabel," she said, then winced. "But you probably remember from me dumping hot coffee on you. May I sit?" She gestured to the chair. "If you're here for revenge, I should warn you I'm too tired to run." Adrian sat down. "No revenge. I actually wanted to apologize." "You want to apologize to me?" Isabel looked confused. "I overheard Tom talking about letting you go," Adrian said gently. "I know it's partly because of what happened with me. That doesn't sit right." Isabel's eyes filled with tears. She blinked them back quickly. "It's not just that. I'm not fast enough for him. I care too much, apparently. He says I treat this place like it's my restaurant instead of just a job. Is that such a bad thing?" "According to Tom it is," Isabel said bitterly. "I'm 35 years old, working as a waitress. I was supposed to open my own cafe by now, but life happened. My dad got sick, needed care. The medical bills ate my savings. Then he passed last year, and I'm starting over from nothing." She wiped her eyes roughly. "Sorry, you don't need to hear this. What if I told you I own this place?" Adrian said quietly. Isabel stared at him. "What?" "I bought the morning light 6 months ago. Tom doesn't know. None of the staff does. I like to see how my investments run without interference." Adrian leaned forward. "And what I've seen is that Tom doesn't understand what makes a cafe successful. It's not just speed, it's heart, connection, the things you do naturally." Isabel's mouth opened and closed. "You're serious?" "Completely. And I'm about to make some management changes." Adrian pulled out his business card, writing on the back, "This is my direct number. Call me tomorrow. I have a proposition for you." "What kind of proposition?" "The kind where you run this place the way you always imagined," Adrian said. "Where you make decisions about staff, menu, atmosphere. Where you treat it like your restaurant because, in all the ways that matter, it would be." Isabel took the card with trembling hands. "Why would you do this? You don't even know." "I know you remember Mrs. Patterson takes her coffee lukewarm because of sensitive teeth. I know you slip extra food to Sarah Jenkins because she's struggling. I know you made this place feel like home to a lot of lonely people." Adrian stood up. "That's worth more than speed, Isabel." He left her sitting there, card in hand, hope dawning on her face. She called the next day. They met for dinner, discussing business. But somewhere between the appetizers and dessert, it became something more. They talked about their dreams, about loss and starting over, about what success really meant. 3 months later, Isabel became the official manager of the Morning Light. Tom found another position elsewhere. Under her leadership, the cafe flourished. Regulars brought friends. Revenue doubled. And Adrian? He learned that sometimes the best investments aren't measured in profit margins. Sometimes they're measured in coffee shared at quiet tables, in conversations that stretch past closing time, in finding someone who sees your white shirt stained with coffee and still believes you're worth knowing. The businessman in the coffee-stained shirt and the waitress who spilled it found something neither expected. Not a blind date, not a business transaction, but a second chance at dreams they thought they'd lost. Adrian eventually told Isabel he'd been stood up that first morning. She laughed and said it was the best thing that could have happened. After all, she never would have spilled coffee on him if he'd left when his date canceled. some stains you never want to wash out. If this story warmed your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment about a time when a mistake led to something beautiful. Sometimes our biggest embarrassments become our greatest blessings.